Hello, our friends. We're back, and yep, that's KC Kyle again.
Here I am.
This week, Kyle's got some magazine-sized issues. I have issues too, according to my therapist. But myself, I've got some local books. I've got some local artist artwork, and I also have, of course, a Kickstarter because I am a degenerate that cannot control backing independent comics right now. But first, we're getting better at this. Kyle, how you doing this week?
I'm good. How are you, Beckerman?
Well, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I was thinking about how the comic book industry, especially the grading companies like CGC, like to screw with us. But I say it's time to screw with them back by screwing your books with Gator Comics. Also, if you want to get those books pressed by the most impressive of the pressers, a guy that will make sure that when you send your books to the grading, you'll have great grades because of the clean pressing job he did, and that's Blairs Comics. And of course, if you want to buy the comics, you go to ABX in Augusta. Or if you're outside of town, like our good friend Burke Family 54 Comics, he gets them shipped to him here in Kansas. Well, I'm not in Kansas, but he's over in Kansas. So yeah, there's all sorts of ways to get that stuff. But that's our sponsors. Kyle,
Buy them at ABX. Use a Gator guard to protect it when you're shipping it to Blair to get it pressed.
sounds impressive to me.
You said you were a degenerate Kickstarter. I think I saw your car in the parking lot somewhere with a bumper sticker that said Kickstarter Degenerate on board. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
that's yours?
Well, I'm just trying to kickstart my collection
Okay.
or my heart. Can't decide which. Look at that slickness right
Here,
there. You're
here
you're
we are.
big. We can see your big books now on the big screen.
Yeah, so I like many people in this hobby, I assume, it just pained with nostalgia. Pained with nostalgia. And I am a Star Wars guy who hated the prequels until the new batch of movies came out, and now I appreciate the prequels. And I didn't know that there was an original Dark Horse run of the prequels. So I picked up, this isn't a magazine side one, but I picked up the episode one trade.
Okay.
And the art inside of it is actually pretty good. The coloring's pretty good and stuff. This thing was like $6 shipped, and it looks unread. So whoever bought it must not have been a fan of the prequels back when these came out too. But yeah, so I started looking it up, and I guess there's like a Darth Maul cover of the original issues that's desirable. But yeah, I'm excited to have this. They have a trade for all three.
After those last three, the Trade Federation seems a lot better of an adversary, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, we didn't know what we had with George. And this is also movie nostalgia. There was a Dune 2-issue comic book that came out in, I think, Marvel Special Edition, but I didn't know that they had magazine size of it. And
Okay.
it's like, so the art is full page, and it's Bill Sienkiewicz, who I'm a big fan of. And yeah, it's pretty cool. This is in like really nice shape too. I think this was also like next to nothing. So, uh, and I'm a big Walt Simonson fan also. So while I was tickling my fancy with things that I love, I picked up.
Ooh, I need
Yeah.
that still.
So he was really proud of this when he did it. The art inside of it is awesome. I think they were trying to. He had hoped that this would turn into a series, and it didn't. But it's great. Anybody, I recommend this. to anybody that likes Simonson that has never looked at it or read it. It's like a good show of what he can do. I should have
Do
showed
you
this
have
one.
do you have his Lawnmower Man?
No, I have the larger books. I have the Alien. That I have a couple other ones,
You
but
know he
no,
did a Lawnmower Man though, right?
no. But now I want it.
We showed it on the Huckle Buck. I have one.
Yeah.
It's
Is
boy.
it a Marvel graphic
When
novel size like that?
it's a magazine size, but it's not Marvel graphic novels. It was another name. It's like science mystery, something like that.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
I'll go pull it out after we're done with
Okay.
with the people here.
Yeah. I should have showed this after I showed the Dune because this is also Bill Sienkiewicz and Frank Miller. This is the Daredevil Marvel graphic novel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's like Marvel. I don't remember what
Can
number
you
it
put that
is.
back up on the screen?
Yeah.
Let's just appreciate how round the Kingpin's head is.
Let me take it out so there's not all this glare. Ugh, I didn't
Yeah,
take the
we don't
tape
like
off of
glare
this.
on the Hucklebuck, but we do like Blair.
Blair, but not glare.
Blair's Comics. Not glare, though.
Not glare or Claire, but we do like Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Well,
head is a perfect circle.
yeah. Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Old
This
round face himself.
so the art in here looks just like that Elektra assassin that he did.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is great. That was just something I stumbled across. I didn't know it existed. And it was another thing that was like, I don't know, next to nothing. You pay more in shipping than you do for sometimes for stuff like that.
Yeah, I lucked out with my Lawnmower Man. I bought that at a local shop, Nerdstalgia.
Oh, cool. I won't be able to find it because you bought the only one that probably exists around here. They probably didn't sell too many Lawnmower Man comics.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was super, but Walt Simonson on the art, and it's a stunner, man. It's a stunner.
So this is the last one that I have to show. This is an art book that Beckerman has already seen, but this is the Frazetta Artists edition. So there's this company. It was a Kickstarter, I think, or an Indiegogo, which is what it must not have been Kickstarter because you would have known about it because I think they had hot listed for everything.
I'm newer to I've only been into Kickstarter for a few years.
Yeah, I don't. This just came out maybe a few months ago, but it's all
Ooh, I
11 by
love that cover.
17, and it's perforated, so you can take out the pages if you wanted to frame them or whatever. But it's really cool. It's got like an essay about Frazetta and stuff like that. But yeah, just really cool. And I like the old Terror cover stuff like that. So this one was right up my alley.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like it.
Me and Mr. Macabre, we're big Terror guys.
Shout out to Mr. Macabre, one of the good ones.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, what I got, first off, I went to the new Pulp Fiction in Lee Summit with Swagda.
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of comics. New comics there are, but they're back issues. There's not a lot, but I went through it and I did find a few things that I ended up taking with me. Last Sons of America, #1. I already own this, but I love this story, and it's one of the first published works of Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Who did the art on that cover?
Matthew Dow Smith.
Oh, for a second I thought it was Phil Noto. It's really cool.
Nope. It might be Phil Noto on the cover. It is Noto on the cover. Good eye.
I have a good eye.
So yeah, this story is a lot of fun and came out in like 2015, I want to think. It's about a pandemic has hit America, which I know.
Wow.
In 2015, he
so
wrote
it's a
this
science fiction book.
Yeah. A pandemic hit America, and it causes 97% of the population to be sterile. So, and it only affected America primarily. And it makes the adoption agencies become like, unless you're uber wealthy, you can't afford to get a kid unless you use black market kidnappers from the third world. And this is a pair of brothers who do just that. They facilitate getting children for people for money. And yeah, check it out. It's a really cool story.
I can't believe
Um,
that hasn't been optioned. That's a just the premise, the way that you just sold that. That sounds like
Well, it
movie.
actually was optioned with Netflix, and Peter Dinklage was attached to it because the brothers, one of them is a little person, and he
Oh,
kind of actually looks like
he
Peter
does on
Dinklage.
that cover. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they kind of modeled him after it, and he anyway wanted to do it, but you'd have to ask Phil why it didn't happen or hasn't happened. Um,
Probably the
Unfortunately, I
real.
think a lot of stuff gets optioned and just doesn't. And then next up, we've got a bunch of, well, 4 issues that I needed of Infinity Inc., and they're some of the McFarlane issues.
Nice.
This this is the one that's avoided me. I have a really beat up one, but I wanted like a nicer one that presents a little better for my run. So
That's a cool cover too, the Solomon Grundy one.
yeah, these were great. I was
Huh.
very happy to get those.
I bet those are hard to find in the wild.
They're getting harder, at least for cheap.
Yeah.
You don't find them in the bargain bins much anymore. That's why I jumped on those. And then I love this ROM cover, Rick Jones.
Once upon a time, I had the full run of Rom.
Did you?
Yep.
And then next up, I had a blank cover of Heavy Metal Magazine. And a friend of mine, Pedro, did some Pedro's a great artist. I told him to go nuts on it. And he did uh, Mexican kind of Aztec art all up over this thing, and it is awesome.
That bat looks awesome.
Yeah, I think he really he outdid himself on this. I wasn't expecting color. This was a gift. I gave it to him. I said, "I'll pay you." Nope, didn't take money. Just threw the art down on it. I did forget I had one other thing I didn't tell you about. I have a trade paperback I picked up at. We went down to a First Friday down in the crossroads, and we there was a food truck I specifically wanted to hit, and it was outside of a place called Maid Mob. So we went in there to see, they had vendors and stuff. We bought some like candies and stuff like that. But there was a guy set up in the corner with comic books. I'd seen some of his stuff before, like I think he does Black Spartans. But anyway, it turns out he makes comic books also with people like our friend Michael at the Comic Book Coffee House here in KC. And this is Blurred Comics. This collects multiple different stories from 9 different comic books, all black owned comics from local creators that have joined together to form this label. Very anime vibes in most of the stuff. I've read through 2 of the 9 stories in it. It's not bad yet so far. I'm not big into the anime style, but I did want to check this out and I wanted to support it. And then finally, I've got my Kickstarter book. I was telling you about this before we went live, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to shut up about this so that I can talk about it now. This is Charlemagne Fugad Illuminati. And we've got Sienkiewicz, who you talked about earlier on inks, written by Brian Edward Hill, pencils by Dennis Cohen, and inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. The art is so good in this.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a big name artist and inker.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm trying to look for the part. So he kind of bases it on what he wants you to think this could be based on real events. And I'm looking, there's a blurb in the book. Okay, here we go. A world famous pop star holds up her hands in the shape of a pyramid. A prominent music executive attends an award ceremony wearing pants emblazoned with strange glyphs and symbols. The feds raid the mansion of a billionaire music mogul, uncovering evidence of startling perversion. The Illuminati, you've heard about them for years in whispers and jokes and memes all over social media. Do these scattered incidents confirm the existence of a shadow society that secretly pulls the levels of power? In an era of rampant conspiracy theories, the so called Illuminati is perhaps the most enduring urban legend of our time. Evidence of its existence is everywhere, but proof is elusive. With Charlemagne the God presents Illuminati, um, Brian Edward Hill, artist Dennis Cohen, and Bill Sienkiewicz pull back the curtain of this urban legend with a riveting supernatural thriller set against the backdrop of hip hop culture. Any resemblance to real life persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental unless you don't want it to be. So, folks,
That's a
check it
good.
out.
Yeah, that story sounds good too.
Yeah. So if you want to borrow this, I will lend it to you if you want to read it. That's what I got this week. Let us know what you got. Let us know what you think. This one went a little long. Kyle, do you have any thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
No, I wish I would have remembered. You talked about you bought that book from a local artist. I went to like an AAPI festival like 2 months ago, and there was a guy there selling comics, so I had to buy him to support him, right? And it's 3 issues, and the first one is black and white, the second one has some color, and the third one is full color, and it takes like it's part of the story is like he's depressed and whatever. I wish I would have remembered I had those, but they're in a different
Yeah.
spot because I have stuff that I'm actively reading in a different spot. So
Well, maybe someday we can have you back on and you can show those.
yep,
But anyway, everybody, have a good week and let us know what you picked up. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see if I can get out of here in one try.